and welcome to my second International Scrapbooking Weekend video. This time I am recording a birthday that we had earlier in the week. It was my husband's 74th birthday. How can that be possible? So let me show you what we're going to be scrapping and what we're using. So I found this pack of Happy New Year bits, which came as a pack. There's 6 sheets of paper, a sheet of stickers, and I'm adding a couple of other bits to that. It's a 2023 set, so I think I got it in clearance at the back end of last year, so 24, but who knows. And this is the photo that I am going to be scrapping. It's the food we had. Forgot to take a picture of the birthday boy, but hey ho, he hates having his photo taken, so yeah. So he had the special, which was cod with a poached egg and I think it was crushed potatoes and a sauce that included prawns, and I had a lamb rump with, this is a parmesan crisp, and there's ratatouille and all sorts, and I have to say it was delicious. We went to a local restaurant. It's always really good food and always quite pricey, but it's worth the money because it is delicious. So this is the set. So let me show you what we've got. It's very bright. It is meant for New Year's, so you know. So 2 sheets of everything. I'm going to be using this as the background because it's the least busy. Probably won't ever use that, but who knows. Just some stars with sort of soft aqua, some cut aparts which I may or may not be using, and then this lovely sticker sheet which is definitely New Year because it's got Happy New Year, but there are things on here that you can use just for a celebration. I'm probably going to use that, the cheers, as the title. I may use celebrate as well. I will definitely use the 74. He will hate me for it. So the champagne glasses, you know, there are definitely bits there that I can use for a birthday. So I have decided that I'm going to start with the dots. So this is it's a slightly off-white. I wouldn't say it's cream, but it's off-white with black polka dots. I'm using as inspiration a layout that I got from Scrapbook and Cards from their Summer 22 edition, and it's this one, which I probably will end up with it not looking anything like that, but that's kind of where I'm starting from. So I'll pop that to one side. First thing to do is get branding strip off. I had a trimmer, I've now buried it in paper. Now I have picked out some die cuts, which I may or may not use. So this happy birthday, you, big hugs, just a heart and a floral. As I say, I may or may not use them. I have got more cut aparts if I need them, or die cuts rather. I'm going to be using the glossy dots assortment from Stampin' Up. This is quite old now. I mean, it's certainly not current, but the colours are kind of working with this paper. So I thought I would go with that. So that's the branding strip off. I'm going to use black ink for everything because we've got black as one of our colours. And I'm going to start with, so here we've got this background which has got happy moments, happy, goodness knows what. So that I'm going to use the stripe. So let's start with that. Let's find the stripe. There we go. So I'm going to start with this. The photo is going, so it's 2 3x4s, but printed as one 4x6 with 2 portraits. This is going to be quite a chunk, so I think I'll probably go between the 2 pink lines. So there, which is roughly in half as it transpires. So let's do that. So this will be my background. I need to trim that again because that's not straight. So let's cut that so that it is straight. It's now going to be fuzzy, but that's fine. I can trim that down in a moment. Let's just get my bin so that is to hand. I've got things on the floor. Things have dropped on the floor already. Right, so I'm going to just trim that down with my scissors because it's a bit fuzzy. And while I'm doing that, I'll decide whether this is going to go all the way across or whether I'm going to cut it short. I'm tempted to put it all the way across. There we are. Let's get rid of the fuzz. I will leave that out still. So this is where we are going to start. So this is going to go towards the top. Let's get rid of those for the moment. Probably about there. So this will then be slightly off centre. And I am going to use this pattern to mat it, because it then just looks like, if once I've cut it small, it's not going to look like anything particularly. So it's not like my brain will be going, what on earth is that? It will just be perfectly happy as it is. So let's just take the branding strips off. I'll hang to it for the moment. And then this, I want just a very narrow border. Kind of there-ish, I'm thinking. And then I want some turquoise, because the turquoise is kind of plain. But I'm just going to check what's going on this side before I cut it down. Now I'm thinking I can use this card here for my journaling. So I'll take the resolutions off, because obviously it's not New Year. So if I use the bottom, I should be okay if I trim from the bottom rather than the top. So again, I want a smallish border, but I want it, I'm going to have it off, it's going to be narrow top and bottom and wider at the ends, so let's go kind of there-ish, I think. Which still leaves me with this piece here, which I might as well trim up while I got it out. And do remember that I do have 2 sheets of each of the pattern papers, so it's not as if I will lose anything if I suddenly decide that I want one of the cards that I've cut away. In fact, I'm going to trim this by hand. Good, I think I might do a better job getting it exactly where I want it. And then, so I'm going to hang this. It's going to come, or I'm going to put something on top, so the fact that there is a border is not going to be an issue. And keep the resolutions just in case. I may keep the, I'm always tempted to fussy cut, except I've had a sticker. I don't need to fussy cut, I've got a sticker, so that's fine. Right, okay, let's tuck that away for the moment and get this lot sorted out. So, first thing I want is my black ink. So I'm going to edge everything in black ink, and I always use black soot, distressed ink for that. It's something that I've been using for a long time, so I'm very happy using it still. But it just helps bring everything together. I will ink the edge of the stripe paper as well. And once I've decided how big the turquoise is going to be, I will edge that as well. And it doesn't need to be amazingly edged, it's just to kind of break the line, get rid of the white that's the core of the paper. Even if it isn't a white cord paper, if you see what I mean. It just means that everything then works together, and it's a great way of using different collections together. I say, this happens to all be from one collection, but doesn't have to be. So this is going to go kind of there-ish. Now, I was asked on one of my videos, and this will show that I don't necessarily record a long time in advance, why I don't use full strips. Now, I am using full strip at the ends here because they are right at the edge, but I come in from the edge so I can tuck things under, and then I don't use full strips of paper, because then if I change my mind about where I want something, it's easier to pull up. So yeah, that's the reason why I do that. So I'll have a small strip of the dots at the top, then this is already inked, that's going to come kind of there-ish. Unfortunate that the turquoise is there, but you know, we could go up a bit, couldn't we? So I'll take the turquoise off. So it's going to be coming in a bit. I will be tucking some bits under here. It's a bit longer. Can't decide. In fact, I may just trim it all down a bit. Yep, I think that's what I'm going to be doing. Because that's going to be the easiest way of it actually looking how I want it. I was thinking I would have this longer than top to bottom, but actually I think I'll just use a standard small gap. So I will trim it so it's roughly the same on all sides. So let's get this inked. I'm hoping this will come together reasonably quickly. Obviously this is a very different feel from the video that I posted yesterday. Yesterday's was lovely, 49 in market, kind of vintagey. This is definitely the other end of that spectrum. And again, I'm going to come in from the edges and use short bits of tape. And it's just so that if I decide to move anything at any point, I can. And in from the edge means I can tuck things underneath. And that was a trick I learnt from the amazing Chanel Lane. I love the woman. She was the person that really inspired me in scrapbooking. So let's, of course now that I've trimmed it down, it's almost going to hit the turquoise top and bottom, but that's fine. And then the photo, and again I'm still coming in from the edge a little bit because I want to be able to have the opportunity to tuck. My watch has been buzzing at me a lot today about how I'm feeling, and the answer is fine. Right, so that's the basic layout. Let's have a look at the bits we're going to use. And at this point, what I like to do is bring in a block and pick things that I'm going to use. So I want the glasses, because we started with Prosecco. I definitely need something for a date. I'm thinking I'll use this. And I've already set this date stamp up for the day of his birthday. So that was the 29th of April. So that's that ready to go. That can be drying whilst things are happening. We've got lots of these lovely stars, so let's have some of that. Repetition is good. So 3 lots of stars. I'm definitely going to do the whole embarrassing age bit. So we'll have those. Whoops. Come on. We'll also have the best is yet to come. Amazing food, because it was. I like Good Friends, but it's black, and there's nothing else here that I really want that's definitely black. Just wondering about whether I can use that anywhere, so I'll take it off, just in case. So I've got the best is yet to come, amazing food. Is there anything else I can... I might take this, but take bubbly, because I don't think we didn't have balloons, so let's just cut bubbly off. Ooh, there's a thought. No, it's 70 I want, not 7. So I won't do that. I was just thinking, because it's got the numbers here, but they are the single number rather than anything else. Which makes sense in my head, may not in anybody else's. Ooh, got another of those. I will take that off just for the moment. It's a very small one. How many hearts? 1, that's 3 pink. So we've got pale pink and orange, but then a bright pink, which isn't quite what I'm looking for. Okay, so we'll start with that lot. Oh, I was going to take the balloons, wasn't I? I was going to use the balloons, so let's take those as well. So, I might change from cheers to celebrate. Let's have a look how that looks. Oops. So we could have that actually there. Yes, so let's do that. Now, when you're inking the edges of stickers, which are, you know, intricate, just don't get too hung up on it. Do what you can. I might even pop this up actually. For the moment I will ink it and then just place it. I'm not going to stick it yet. I'm just going to kind of, so that's going to go right there, I'm thinking. The balloons. Cat fur. Well, I'm not surprised. I'm having doubts about balloons, mostly because there's the spotty one, and it's the spotty one on both the card and the sticker, so we'll forget that. But we will have those. Have those there. So we've had some amazing weather the last few days in the UK, certainly in the south of the UK, southeast I should say really, although we're quite central. We've had the elections. Those were, let's just say, interesting. I can't remember if I said this on my last video, I worked at one of the polling stations. Don't like the yellow on the yellow. It's fine, we could have that there maybe. We'll think about that, we'll come back to that. We've definitely got to have this, and I'm thinking I might have that there, but down a bit. So yes, we're definitely, it was Thursday, so the 1st of May was the elections in the UK, not everywhere, but for a lot of the UK. So that's going to go kind of there-ish, But again, I'm only leaving it very gently at the moment. That can come in there. I do need to allow space for this, and I need to make sure that I cover the top so that we know that it's... I could go up. Can do anything with this. I'm tempted to put those two together, because what I can then do is cover that up so it's less obvious that I've chopped the top off. I'm going to have that in there, maybe, with this coming over the top. I think that will work. So let's do that. So yes, I have to say, sitting in a local village hall on the hottest day of the year, where it wasn't very busy, let's just say interesting. There were two of us, and I think we both at various points nodded off. Just saying. Let's bring that down so that it's not quite turquoise on turquoise there. Just a little bit of a gap, there we go. And then let's pop this on. Now what I'm thinking is I can have a cluster up here, a cluster over here, and then a cluster down here. So we'll have up here, over here, and over here. And then we've got a nice triangle around our photographs and our journaling and all that good stuff. I am a great one for triangles. So, pop that. There. So that covers up that bit at the top, so we don't look too clearly at the fact that I've chopped the bit off. And then, so I'm going to have a cluster up there. Let's use this one up the top. And again, I'm just doing a bit of that one under there, like that. This can come down a bit. The ink on that date is still a little bit damp. You can see it's shining. Let's have this one down. In fact, we can have this one just there, I think. Let's tuck it there. So I think I'm happy with Celebrate where Celebrate is. What I'm trying to do is make sure that the C is on the table, so it hasn't got a line through the middle of it. And I'm trying to do the same there. I am pulling this a little bit so that it's going down, because I don't like having this really, where there's white and then a colour, particularly in the middle of a letter where the rest of the lettering is covered with the white background. I don't know why they've left that open like that, but it doesn't matter. It is what it is. So Celebrate, where am I going to put the 7 and the 4? Could have 7 and 4. Yeah, that works. So it's not obvious what we're celebrating, but it's obvious what we're celebrating. You see what I mean? So do want a little bit in there. There we go. I'm tempted to have these popped up. So let's pop that one just back there for the moment. Let's get this one inked up And I shall get some pop dots, dimensionals, foam squares, whatever you want to use is brilliant. I'm going to use foam squares. The reason I use these as much as anything is because they are shallower and they come in small and large. But the main thing is they are shallower, which means you can have depth without it taking over your scrapbook. Sometimes you end up, if you put too much depth on all of the pages of your scrapbook, you can't get as many pages into your scrapbook. And as the actual books are not the cheapest thing on the planet, I suspect are going to get more expensive during the current excitement around the world. I'm using quite a lot of stickers, mostly because this is quite a lot of foam pads, mostly because this is a sticker, so I want the sticky to be protected from pushing down onto the page. Let's get a bit more, then that star is still visible. And then this one, use a couple of smaller ones. And then one large one. And that should be perfect. Good. Let's get the paper off, shall we? Right, okay, so we've got a bit of stuff there and a bit of stuff there. We've got the beginnings of some stuff up here. So I'm thinking, I've got 2 notifications now. I'm thinking that we can pop this here. I still want those champagne glasses on. I can cover up the end of that piece of string, and then maybe in fact what happens if I do put those down, that just overlapping a little bit. Yep, that works. Right, okay, so I'm going to pop the stars on first, because again I want those popped up. So one large and a couple small. So my watch is currently buzzing because there's some activity going on our village WhatsApp group around the 80th anniversary of VE Day, which is fine, but it's buzzing around I get WhatsApp messages on my watch, so it is buzzing away. Someone's just posted something about a display we've got on the village hall. Everyone's now asking how long it's going to be up for and all that good stuff. So that's going to go kind of there. And this is going to go, let's go down a wee bit, and let's do that, and then that. Okay, and I might still use this just as a bit of an extra. I want it around there, or do I want it? No, I think I might want it tucked in under there. I will save the journaling until I have finished recording this video, because it's kind of personal. So that's there. Right, so we've got the best is yet to come. think we can have up here. And then we've got bubbly. Let's be really cheesy and put bubbly by the bubbly. So the best is yet to come. And we're going to have under the photograph, overlapping the edge of that tab. And that coming in a bit more. There we go. So this is going to be amazing food, and it was. So let's have amazing food can come in under there, I think. Is it? Kind of want it down here somewhere. Could have it popped up, maybe. Yeah. I think I will do that, but I'm going to be careful about how I do the popping up because I want it to go over the 74. And it's still going to be obvious that it says 74, even though I'm going to cover up some of the, definitely some of the 4. So let's just be a little bit. So it's going to come in here. So I need a thing there, and so one under the NG. And one at each end. So one under the NG, which is kind of middle, and one at each end. One, not two, one. Thank you. I will journal in black because I've edged in black. Don't particularly like the gap in there, but we may be able to do something about that. So amazing food, we've got bubbly to go on, and we are going to be really cheesy and put the bubbly near the bubbly. Just tuck it there. Ooh, that kind of fits nicely. Or do I go out here? I think I go out here. There we go. Lovely. And I don't think I want any of my die cuts. I might just look at Happy Birthday. But I think then that takes over, so I think Celebrate 74 works as a title. I do kind of want something in under there is the only thing. So let's have a look at what we've got. We've got a label. We've got cheers, and cheers go in under there. So I actually want it ideally to go kind of there. There? No, that's too disjointed from everything else. So no. No, I think I am going to. Ooh, except that might work. Right, I'm going to do some chopping because I want this stripy bit. If it doesn't work, I can always stick it back together. Yes. It's going to go underneath the Celebrate. Just trim, there's a little tail just there, so let's get rid of that. Right. So what I want to do is just lift up Celebrate. And it'll stick up, it will come up. So I should say at this point that I use a selfie printer, which puts a protective finish on the photos, which means you can, if you're very careful, pull things up off them without ripping the photograph. If you got what I would call a normal photograph, you may not be able to do that. So this is going to go in under here. My head, I'm so sorry, my head is absolutely in the way. Sincere apologies. It's probably been in the way the whole time and I just haven't looked. No, that's not doing what I want it to do. I mean, it is doing what I want it to do, it's just not doing what I want it to do, what I was hoping it would achieve, I think is the thing I'm trying to say. Where's my head? In the way again. I have to move where my camera goes. I just want that is that going to work? Come on. I'll put a little bit on that blue bit there. I can see a little blue bit that I don't want to see. Okay. That's it. It may seem like a small thing, but to me that is very important. Right, let's get rid of the bits of backing before I get those all stuck up my arm and then wonder why they're all over the place. Right, okay, so we're going to have some journaling there. We've got Celebrate 74. I've got something there which is making me happy. Let's put some dots on, and then I need some golden mist, and we are good to go. So, let's grab a take your pick. I won't use any of them purple because we don't have purple, but the pink is a good match, the yellow is a good match, and the turquoise, excuse me, is also a good match. So I want 3 little areas. So let's have, I did say I might put something there, didn't I? Let's think. Or shall I just ignore this? No. I was just thinking I could put some more of that stripe. I think I'm just going to ignore that I can see it. Or can I lift it up? Lift up that 7 and move it across a bit. No, because then it'll open up a gap there. No, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to be happy with what I have. So I'll have pink. Yellow. Aqua. Yellow. Aqua. Pink. And then aqua. Pink. Yellow. I just want to grab a piece of paper just just protect my work surface because it's time for some glimmer mist. Just need to get this all mixed up. So this is some Gina K glimmer mist. It's glittering gold. And because my photos have a protective surface, I managed to smudge the date, but never mind. But because my photo has a protective surface, if any of the mist ends up on my photos, I can just wipe it off. So there is some on my photos, but that is fine. Not a reasonable amount because it's a celebration. So if I can get this, and then wherever there is mist on my photos, I can just wipe it away and it will come off cleanly. So let me just lift it up so you can see. So say journaling there, and then we have taken a New Year's Eve mini collection and turned it into a birthday celebration for my lovely husband. So I hope you have enjoyed that. If you have a thumbs up, it's always appreciated. And I will endeavour, let me just bring my face back up. Thank you. I will endeavour to have a third video for you because it's bank holiday here in the UK on Monday, so I'm hoping to have a bank holiday photo as well for our long international scrapbooking weekend. Thank you very much indeed for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't, say a thumbs up is always appreciated. Any questions or comments, you can leave those below in the description bar. And if you don't already subscribe, please do. I will see you again. So I'm just trying to find where the end screen has gone. I will see you again very soon. Bye for now.